Breaking election news overnight. Paul Chiang, the Liberal candidate running for re-election in the riding of Markham-Unionville in the Greater Toronto Area, is withdrawing from the race. He announced that decision just before midnight and just after the RCMP told CBC News it's looking into whether he broke the law when he suggested back in January that people turn a Conservative candidate into the Chinese consulate to collect a bounty. Liberal leader Mark Carney defended Chiang's candidacy yesterday at this time, even as pressure continued to mount from the Conservatives and NDP and from a growing number of human rights and civil society organizations, all of which calling for Chiang to be fired.
He says that he's stepping down because he didn't want to become a distraction in this election, but certainly the comments that he made were the big news story yesterday in the federal election. And we know that he told some Chinese language media that people could hand over Conservative candidate Joe Tay to the Chinese consulate for a reward offered by police in Hong Kong, essentially a bounty. And these comments drew widespread condemnation from Joe Tay himself, from the NDP, from the Conservatives, from human rights groups as being wildly inappropriate, encouraging illegal activity on Canadian soil. And even though Paul Chiang apologized, that was not good enough for Joe Tay, who said no apology would ever be sufficient. Now, we did hear from Mark Carney midday yesterday defending Paul Chiang, saying he apologized and people make mistakes and it was, quote, a teachable moment. But when the news came out that evening that the RCMP was probing the comments that were made, just a few hours later, we saw Paul Chiang post on social media that he was going to be stepping down. Joe Tay is running for the Conservatives in Don Valley North. He runs a YouTube channel that promotes democracy and free speech. Chiang tried to apologize to Tay, but Tay rejected that apology, saying no apology is sufficient, and also said that he's currently fearing for his life and he's been in touch with the RCMP for potential protective services. All of that unfurled yesterday, but Paul Chiang says he will not be a candidate in this upcoming election. The deadline to appoint candidates for parties or choose candidates is early next week, so the Liberals will have to find a replacement within that time frame.